Hey everybody, Libby just said hit it. So here we are, Mustard's Retreat. This is Libby Glover.
Hi.
I'm David Tamulevich. We're so pleased to be performing for you, even if it's virtually. We hope to visit one day, because I found out a lot about your town that is pretty fascinating. So we're going to start out with a song we've been doing for many years. It's a traditional Ohio song, an Ohio River song called Shawnee Town. Shawnee Town was, once you make the big turn into the Mississippi coming down the Ohio, I think it was down in Arkansas at this point. It was a big trading center, and they would trade their goods there, and then have to work their way back with poles, to come up current. So the song's called Shawnee Town. Sun rose up, but we floats down, way down the Ohio to Shawnee Town. And it's hard on the beach, or she moves too slow, way down to Shawnee Town on the Ohio. Now the current's got her and we'll take up the slack. Gonna float her down to Shawnee Town and bushwhack her back. And it's hard on the beach, or she moves too slow, way down to Shawnee Town on the Ohio. The whiskey's in the jug, boys, the wheat it's in the sack. Gonna float 'em down to Shawnee Town and bring the rock salt back. And it's hard on the beach, or she moves too slow, way down to Shawnee Town on the Ohio. The water's mighty warm, boys, the air it's cold and dank, and the cursed fog it gets so thick that you cannot see the bank. And it's hard on the beach, or she moves too slow, way down to Shawnee Town on the Ohio. Sun rose up, but we floats down, way down the Ohio to Shawnee Town. And it's hard on the beach, or she moves too slow, way down to Shawnee Town on the Ohio. So we live up here in Michigan. We're going to do a song about the tradition of tradition here in Michigan. That I try to follow every spring. I'm heading down south, way down south. I'm gonna find some wide open spaces. My view embraces the lay of the land. This Michigan man is off in search of exotic places. I'd go to Florida, but it's too far. I'm driving my car, ain't gonna fly home, and that is why I'm going to Ohio. Ohio, don't you know? O-H-I-O. Ohio, here we go. O-H-I-O. Now some folks travel near and far to Istanbul or to gay Paris. Let them be as they may. Half a day away is far enough for me. My restless heart is full of wonder for the land down under, the clouds that lie in the big blue sky of Ohio. Ohio, don't you know? O-H-I-O. Ohio, here we go. down below. O-H-I-O. Sing sweet and low.
Sing sweet and low.
O-H-I-O. Sing fee-fi-fo.
Sing fee-fi-fo.
O-H-I-O. Can't sing no more. O-H-I-O. That song was written by a friend of ours named Jim Beiser up here in Michigan, and we dedicate that to us. But I'm gonna
geographically speaking.
So yes, I'm gonna do. I was born and raised in the town called Branford, Connecticut. Right on Long Island Sound. I'm gonna give you a little historical, Connecticut history for you guys, but you were part of the Western Reserve that was owned by Connecticut back in those days, and Hudson was founded by David Hudson. I was surprised to find from Connecticut, and in case Western Reserve and preparatory schools were founded there, and I didn't know they were called the Yale of the West, and Yale was basically found in my hometown of Branford, and now it's 10 minutes away in New Haven. So lots of connections.
Common ground everywhere we go. It's magic.
So I'm going to sing a song that, we made it up, but it could be fairly true. About a relative of mine. My town has got a chain of islands in Long Island Sound called the Thimble Islands. They were very popular in the 1910, 1920. People would take the boats out from New York and from New Haven and stay at the hotels, which all got wiped out by the hurricane in the 30s. But still a beautiful place. But the most famous person who was there was Captain Kidd in the 1690s. And he hung out there for a couple of months. And this is a song about one of my relatives who may have signed up with Captain Kidd and gotten a longer term of service than he was counting on. Oh, my name is George Lindsley. I lived here long ago. My father was a lobsterman out of Lanthier's Cove. From Brantford up to Sachem's Head for oysters and for clams, till a British frigate caught us, and I was a pressed man. The year was 1691. The kingship came around and boarded father's fishing boat out on Long Island Sound. The boatswain said, "Here's a fine lad, we'll take him on board. Now you're in the service of the king and the articles of war. Heave away, me Johnnies, steady as she goes. Heave away, me boys, let her go." Well, I was young and reckless, and I wanted liberty, and the service on a kingship is one step from slavery. We captured a French smuggler out on the open sea. The captain named a prize crew off, and that included me. But we were taken off Montauk Point as the wind began to lag by a swift and well-armed sloop of war that hoisted a black flag. The pirates gave us all the choice to sink or join their crew. I never gave it half a thought of what I would do. Heave away, me Johnnies, steady as she goes. Heave away, me boys, let her go. Heave away, me Johnnies, steady as she goes. Heave away, me boys, let her go. Well, we sailed halfway round the world, which was just fine with me. We were hunted men, but brothers in a crude democracy. The pirates lived for freedom, both ashore and afloat. We each got an equal share, and every man a vote. Now I'm not going to tell you of all the things we did, but I'll reveal that my last duty was a sail with Captain Kidd. We buried his gold treasure, but with bones it had to lie. So we all cast lots, and in the end it was me who had to die. Keep away, me Johnnies, steady as she goes. Keep away, me boys, let her go. For 300 years now, this has been my fate, to roam these Thimble Islands and keep watch on this place. If the treasure's found, my freedom gained on a wild spree, I'll be bound. But my heart will always bring me home to these islands on the Sound. Every decade now I toss and surf out into the tide. The summer people come in search, and sometimes they will find. It amuses me to watch them work. It preserves the mystery, and I like their jokes and laughter, and enjoy the company. Keep away, me Johnnies, steady as she goes. Keep away, me boys, let her go. Keep away, me Johnnies, steady as she goes. Keep away, me boys, let her go. Thank you. So we were originally scheduled to come there and play with Peter Garrow of Peter, Paul and Mary, and that didn't work out. But we tour a lot with Peter during I don't know, we do 8 or 10 shows, or at least we used to with him. And so we were asked to do a couple of Peter, Paul and Mary hits, and because we grew up on Peter, Paul and Mary, and it's really an honor to play with Peter.
I didn't realize I was going to get the hair. You know, when I started this journey as a little girl, because I didn't have my hair long back then, so I thought it was all bonus. Become a folk singer, get long straight hair.
So we're going to do this song. It was a top 10 hit for Peter, Paul and Mary on their first album in 1962.
Folk as a top 10 hit.
Folk, right. Top 10 hit. They earned 2 Grammys for that album. But it started, there was a man named Paul Clayton. We like to remember the people who came before us. Paul Clayton, in the 40s and 50s, he came from New Bedford, Massachusetts, and he was obsessed about folk music. He went down into the Appalachians, Southern Appalachians, and collected it. And he took one of those songs that was called Who's Gonna Buy Your Chickens When I'm Gone? And he rewrote it, and it became Who's Gonna Buy Your Ribbons When I'm Gone? And one day Bob Dylan was walking by him in New York City and said, Paul, I like that song. I'm gonna use it. And this is the song that Bob Dylan wrote. I love those connections there. It ain't no use to sit and wonder why, babe, if you don't know by now. It ain't no use to sit and wonder why, babe, it don't matter anyhow. When your rooster crows at the break of dawn, look out your window and I'll be gone. You're the reason I'm traveling on, so don't think twice, it's alright. It ain't no use turning on your light, babe, that light I never know. It ain't no use turning on your light, babe, I'm on the dark side of the road. I wish there was something you would do or say to try and make me change my mind and stay. We never did too much talking anyway, so don't think twice, it's I'm walking down that long, lonesome road, yeah. Where I'm bound, I can't tell. But goodbye is too good a word now. So I'll just say farewell. Now I can say you treated me unkind. You could have done better, but I don't mind. Just sort of wasted my precious time. So don't think twice, it's alright. But ain't no use turning on your light, babe. That light I never know. It ain't no use turning on your light, babe. I'm on the dark side of the road. Still I wish there was something you would do or say to try and make me change my mind and stay. We never did too much talking anyway. So don't think twice, it's alright. I'm thinking and I'm wondering all the way down the road. I once loved a woman, a child untold. Oh, I gave her my heart when she wanted my soul. So don't think twice, it's alright. Don't think twice, it's alright.
Yeah, baby. That takes me back.
That takes me back. That was one of the first songs I ever learned to play on guitar. And I made a little mistake in my introduction there because I don't know that was on their first album or not. I know they won 2 Grammys for the first album. But this song was on their first album, written in 1949 by Lee Hayes and Pete Seeger, and it was a hit for Peter, Paul, and Mary, and who was it? The Weavers, of course, did it. Trini Lopez did a version. Trini Lopez, not from Ohio, but I learned a couple interesting things. Doris Day is from Ohio. Dean Martin, the McGuire sisters, and some famous folk singers, Phil Oakes and Fred Neil, and our friend Utah Phillips. And so this is
OH10.
That's right. And you know, this show is a sing-along. So you should feel free. It'll make you better just to
if you can't help yourself, you know what to do. That was just made too much sense, didn't it?
If I had a hammer, I'd hammer in the morning, a hammer in the evening, all over this land. I'd hammer out danger, I'd hammer out a warning, I'd hammer out the love between my brothers and my sisters, all over this land. And if I had a bell, I'd ring it in the morning, I'd ring it in the evening, all over this land. I'd ring out danger, I'd ring out warning, I'd ring out the love between my brothers and my sisters, all I sing it in the morning, I sing it in the evening, all over this land. I sing out danger, I sing out warning, I sing out love between my brothers and my sisters, all over this land. Well, I've got a hammer, and I got a bell, and I got a song to sing all over this land. It's the hammer of justice, it's the bell of freedom, it's a song about love between my brothers and my sisters, all over this land. It's the hammer of justice, it's the bell of freedom, it's a song about love between my brothers and my sisters, all over this land, all over this land, all over this land.
So pretty.
Yeah, we've been singing together since 1975.
Oh, it's just like it was yesterday. But your hair wasn't gray. Neither was mine.
That's right.
Sometimes though, when I shut my eyes, I can see him as a young man next to me. Yeah, it's nice. Nice to be friends this long, that's for sure.
Yes, it is.
We were extolling the virtues of that earlier.
So here's a song from, well, I wrote it, but it's from northern Wisconsin. Up in Rhinelander, Wisconsin is kind of like Michigan. And Rhinelander is almost up to the border of the Upper Peninsula of the UP of Michigan. There was a radio station up there, WXPR, an independent radio station that was playing our third record a lot back in the 80s. And they invited us up to play for the town's annual potluck and fall dance. It was right around this time of year. And it was a tremendous, tremendous experience because it really reinforced that we want to play for community. I mean, this has been our community of choice, you know, for all these years. We choose to be here. We don't care, you know, the things that's important are really you, the audience, and what we're doing. And fame and fortune is not anything we've ever been after. And so this show in Rhinelander, there were 4 generations of people there. Kids dancing the Virginia Reel with their grandparents, and this song came out of it. There's a dance tonight underneath the harvest moon. Oh, honey, won't you come along with me? Your folks will watch the kids. We can dance the way we did back when you were shy and I was 23. You were a lovely sight to see, dancing every dance with me. And that cotton dress you'd wear match the flowers in your hair. And there's a magic in the night with the moon shining so bright. Oh, honey, won't you come along with me? Off the floor and back again, long-time lovers, best of friends, through the changes and the years we have remained. And what was spark is now aglow, waiting only breath to blow it like kindled once again into a flame. Summer leans into the fall, full of stories to recall. apple wine and autumn wind, in the company of friends, and let the music fine and sweet lift the years from off our feet, and remember times we'll never see again. And there's a dance tonight underneath the harvest moon. Oh, honey, won't you come along with me? Your folks will watch the kids. We can dance the way we did back when you were shy and I was 23. You were a lovely sight to see, dancing every dance with me. And that cotton dress you wear matched the flowers in your hair. And there's a magic in the night when the moon shines so bright. Oh, honey, won't you come along with me? So we're going to go north of Rhinelander a little bit into
It's been a geographic show.
that's right, into the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. This is a traditional song. I learned it when I first got out to Michigan. It's called the Lumberman's Alphabet, and it runs through the alphabet, and there are little glimpses of what a lumberman's life was like back around 1900, 1890s. And it's based on a song called the Sailor's Alphabet, which I had heard out in New England growing up. But this is all about Michigan. A for the axe, you very well know. B for the bullies who use it just so. C for the chopping that makes the woods ring. D for the danger we always are in. When the Michigan pines come tumbling down, when the Michigan pines come down. E for the echo that through the woods rang. F for the form in the head of our gang. G for the grindstone so often we turn. H for the handle so smoothly now worn. When the Michigan pines come tumbling down, when the Michigan pines come down. I for the iron that marketh a pine. J for the jolly boys never behind. K for the keen edge our broad axes keep. L for the lice that keeps us from sleep. When the Michigan pines come tumbling down, when the Michigan pines come down. M for the moss we stuff in our camps. N for the needle we use in our pants. O for the owl that hoots all the night. P for the pine that falls just right. When the Michigan pines come tumbling down, when the Michigan pines come down. Q for the quarreling on which we thrive. R for the river we love so to drive. S for the sleigh so stout and strong. T for the team that hauls them along. When the Michigan pines come tumbling down, when the Michigan pines come down. U for the underwear, flannel and red. V for the valley where we lie our dead. W the woods we leave each year. X stands for nothing a logger would hear. When the Michigan pines come tumbling down, when the Michigan pines come down. Y for the yell when the timber comes down. Z for the zeal of the dances in town. When the ring of the lumberjack's piano is o'er, it's back to the forest we'll venture once more. When the Michigan pines come tumbling down, when the Michigan pines come down. Amazing thing about that, this time of year is when they would be going to work. They worked the winters, worked at sub-zero temperatures, felling those trees and hauling them to the river where they would float down in the spring. I think it's just kind of a remarkable remarkable thing. And the lumberjack's piano that was mentioned at the end is a Hammer dulcimer, and I think Ohio is the dulcimer capital of the world. So yes, and it was portable. People could put it on their back and take it from camp to camp. So we're going to do another. This is another UP song. The UP, Upper Peninsula of Michigan, is kind of the spiritual heart of Michigan. You know, we're here we are. Actually, we'll do this. This is Michigan. We actually live down here near Ann Arbor, and here is the UP. There's a 5-mile bridge across there, and they call us trolls, the people who live down here, because we live beneath the bridge, and we call them Upers. And it's a different world up in the UP. You know, there's poverty and there's hard times, but also there's community and just a connection that I don't know, people, you just cross that bridge and you can feel it. So here, but they also speak a slight variant of English. Some of the old timers up there. So we're in case you're going to visit, we want you to be ready for it. This is written by Peter and Lou Berryman from Wisconsin. Hope you don't mind when an old man sings. Helps me to keep my mind on things. And when I go where the animals thrive, I sing this song on the treacherous drive. Dem deer dare here, dem dare 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 here, dare 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 everywhere. Dem deer dare here, dem dare 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 here, dare 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 everywhere. This is a sing-along. At dawn in fields and carnivorous groves, bucks and does come alive in droves. Just when you think that the coast is clear, there in the road is the white-tailed deer. Dem deer dare here, dem dare 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 here, dare 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 everywhere. Dem deer dare here, dem dare 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 here, dare 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 everywhere. In venison land as the day goes by, deer lay low while the sun is high. Sun goes down, night draws near, twilight brings out the white-tailed deer. Dem deer dare here, dem dare 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 here, dare 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 everywhere. Dem deer dare here, dem dare 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 here, dare 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 everywhere. Bucks bed down where the tall grass grows. Fawns stay does where the does does there, does deer, and those are the habits of the white-tailed deer. Dem deer dare here, dem dare 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 here, dare 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 everywhere. Dem deer dare here, dem dare 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 here, dare 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 everywhere. Oh, you know, and what makes that a sing-along is because it's a total earworm, and you may just not be able to get it out of your head. So here's I don't know. You know, you see this.
Ohio themes.
Well, you know, this is our banner back here. We're Mustard's Retreat, and we feel like we're on the eternal, defiantly hopeful tour, because that's what folk music seems like it is. It's just in the face of everything, it's hopeful, and so that's.
Probably should be playing bass. Find my way here.
In the heart of the winter, the year I turned 10, my father took sick and died. With a scratchy old farm, 6 kids and lean times, Mama fought pretty hard to get by. Spring was turned into summer when a man came traveling through. City to work till the harvest was all stored away, and that meals in her room it would do. was that or the banks, so my mom signed him on. His name it was Jeremy Brown. On the front porch we'd gather when dinner was done, and the evening was settled in down. And he'd tell us his stories of traveling, sing of old friends and places he'd been. And he mended our hearts on those long summer nights, taught me to smile once again. He'd sing, ooh, there's a time and a place for goodbyes. It's a sad and a sweet thing to cry, yes, to cry how I've cried. But the answers, they'll come by and by. He worked hard as two men, was quick with a grin, though a distance remained in his eyes. And he never did say why he took to the road, and he knew well enough not to pry. But he understood how I was feeling, or at least to me, that's how it seemed. And late in the night, as I lay in my bed, his songs, they'd run through my dreams, singing, ooh, there's a time and a place for goodbyes. It's a sad and a sweet thing to cry, yes, to cry how I've cried. But the answers, they'll come by and by. October it came, the last corn was in, and Jeremy packed up to go. Heading down south was about all he would say. If he'd be back, he just didn't know. But I think that I knew as he held me, when somehow I could smile through the tears, that if I needed a friend, I would find him again in the song that I've sung all these years. I sing, ooh, there's a time and a place for goodbyes. It's a sad and a sweet thing to cry, yes, to cry how I've cried. And the answers, they've come by and by. There's a time and a place for goodbyes. It's a sad and a sweet thing to cry, yes, to cry how I've cried. And the answers, they'll come by and by.
Love that song. Gotta admit, love that song.
I'm going to do another song. This is another Ohio song, though I wrote it. Years ago, our first trips were to Toledo, and were memorable in their own way. But this trip was down to Columbus for a folk festival, and there's a great organization in Columbus called Six String Concerts, and they've been presenting folk concerts for many, many years. Just a great organization, but they decided one year to try a folk festival, and we were the opening act, and it was people take a while to get to know something. So there weren't a lot of people there to begin with. We were the opening act. There were 5 people in the audience and probably 20 volunteers around the outside. But there were 3 people sitting down in front who were singing along with us, which was a surprise because we'd only ever done a 15-minute opening set in Columbus. But they had been there and bought our CDs and our records back then. And so we got to talking to them. And it ended up that it was parents and their daughter who was about 25 years old. And she was, I talked about, what are you doing? She goes, well, I got my degree. I think it was a Rio Grande community college down there in southeastern Ohio. I think that was it. And she's from Jackson, and she went east to college. And she had run into a hard time there in college and found her way back to herself through folk music, back to herself and back to her parents. And it was a great story. And I said, well, what are you doing this summer? And she goes, well, I'm working as a flag person on a local road crew. So my songwriter antenna went up, and we talked a lot. And as we were driving home, I just had the story in my mind, and I was so impressed by just her presence. She knew where she was, why she was comfortable with it, and I thought, boy, I'm quite a bit older than her, and I haven't found that yet. So this is a song for her. It's called Mindys Song. Yeah, this is for people who can think for themselves, even if it's not quite the socially what's accepted, and find their happiness. Yeah, it's an early morning, getting up at 5. The world so still and quiet helps me feel alive. No one I've got to talk to, no questions why. Just headlights across the empty fields and a twilight sky. I work a county road crew on a paving team. Out in the summer weather, I can think and dream. Wind and sun tattoos my skin a tawny brown. And the rain, well, it's the rain, and it just pours on down. These county roads are dangerous, people fly on by. They hardly even see you, most don't even try. All rushing for tomorrows that may never be. But for now I'm happy being here, just being me. Well, it's not a place I ever thought my life would lead. To my surprise, it gives me something that I need. And I finally realize that things work out somehow. 'Cause I've been through some tough times, but it's all right now. Old friends don't seem to understand or want to know. Is this what you went to college for? I just let it go. Life's made of songs and mysteries and little poems, as we all search for that someplace we can call our own. These county roads are dangerous, people fly on by. They hardly even see you, most don't even try. All rushing for tomorrows that may never be. But for for now I'm happy being here, just being me. These county roads are dangerous, people fly on by. They hardly even see you, most don't even try. All rushing for tomorrows that may never be. But for now I'm happy being here, just being me. Mindys Song, and she's still doing good.
She's a rock star. She
Yeah.
comes to our Zoom concerts and people go, "Oh, there's Mindy from Mindys Song." That's very exciting.
So we've got 3 more songs we're going to do. This one, some of you may have gotten to see John Gorka when he performed there. John Gorka is a wonderful, wonderful person, songwriter, performer, and writes an amazing amount of songs. This is a song he just never recorded, but he allowed us to. It's about a high school reunion. No, I didn't drink. I didn't sleep a week. Last night I went back in time. There was a party, the reunion kind. The boys were all in ties. Some were in disguise. The hairlines and the frames of men, not as I remembered them. It didn't matter much that we never kept in touch. Talk of work filled the in-between, back to the time when we were 17. Here's to the faded blue and gold, and here's to you, my friends. We're all right now, we're all right then, we'll be all right again. There was a book of names and pictures of the same, and I saw familiar ones among the names that are forever gone. And time had not undone the girls I had crushes on, though all of them are married now. I found my heart was working anyhow. We laughed and reminisced with the girls I never kissed. The school years were not all misspent, and the good times were no accident. Here's to the girls who danced with me, who never did back then. You made my night, you held me tight, and you stayed until the end. Here's to the faded blue and gold, and here's to you, my friends. We're all right now, we're all right then, we'll be all right again. We're all right now, we're all right then, we'll be all right again. Gorka wrote that. And, you know, you can find out more about us, mustardretreat.com or on Facebook. We've got a lot of recordings that have done pretty well for us over the years. So this song, I think this song kind of encapsulates a lot of how we feel. I got it sat around for about 15 years. I couldn't finish it till one day we were driving on I-80, 90. I actually think it had become 80 by that point, just north of where you are. And it was the day before the Women's March in Washington. And the highway was just full of cars with people holding signs, and they had pink hats on, and there was the rest stops were like revival meetings. And I was so thrilled and touched, and I still get choked up about it, because I knew that somewhere in there my daughter was there going to her going to protest down in Washington, and it just seemed like the heart of America and was gathering in Washington, and it was mostly women. And you know, there were millions of people on every single continent, and it was peaceful. And I thought, boy, there's lessons to be learned there, and that helped me finish this song. We turn the earth in winter's shadow, knowing spring is drawing near, keeping faith with summer's promise and the turning of the year, and sing for the moon, sing for the sun, sing for the joy when day is done. Oh, sing for the moon, sing for the sun, sing for the joy when day is done. A simple pleasure, planting gardens, picking stone and pulling weeds, a space beyond the rush and clatter, finding something that we need, and sing for the moon, sing for the sun, sing for the joy when day is done. Oh, sing for the moon, sing for the sun, sing for the joy when day is done. Mystery's not quite forgotten, something that we now reclaim. Down through countless generations, wind and fire, earth and rain, and sing for the moon, sing for the sun, sing for the joy when day is done. Oh, sing for the moon, sing for the sun, sing for the joy when day is done. Post-industrial techno-visions tell us how to think and feel. We ignore the corporate chatter and derail their grinding wheels, and sing for the moon, sing for the sun, sing for the joy when day is done. Oh, sing for the moon, sing for the sun, sing for the joy when day is done. Knowing that we have the power, each of us in our own way, to make these moments something better. All great changes start that way, and sing for the moon, sing for the sun, sing for the joy when day is done. Oh, sing for the moon, sing for the sun, sing for the joy when day is done. So we turn the earth and keep the promise, root and river, sun and air, share the harvest and remember who we are and why we care, and sing for the moon, sing for the sun, sing for the joy when day is done. Oh, sing for the moon, sing for the sun, sing for the joy when day is done. Thank you. One more song, and really,
This has been just what I needed.
right, this has been delightful. It's almost like we can see you, almost like we can hear you.
No, they're there.
So this is a song I wrote after the presidential election in 2004. I was just feeling so discouraged about I don't know, being told that basically I was no good if I thought, didn't think this way or that. And I wanted a song that found the common ground, beyond the politics, beyond the religions, someplace where that was just common ground for us all. And this is a song. So thank you so much for listening, and we hope to see you for real one of these days. Mine is a simple faith. Life is a short embrace. Heaven is in this place every day. Hope is the ground we till. Make each day what you will. Thankful for dreams fulfilled every day. No room in this heart for fear. No judgment day drawing near. Trust that inner voice you hear every day. Life's not a goal or race. It's about heart and faith and living a life of grace every day. Ours is a simple faith. Life is a short embrace. Heaven is in this place every day. Hope is the ground we till. Make each day what you will. Thankful for dreams fulfilled every day. Trust is an open hand, making an honest stand, rooted here in the land every day. Living mystery, seeking the harmony here between you and me every day. Ours is a simple faith. Life is a short embrace. Heaven is in this place every day. Hope is the ground we till. Make each day what you will. Thankful for dreams fulfilled every day. Ours is a simple faith. Life is a short embrace. Heaven is in this place every day. Hope is the ground we till. Make each day what you will. Thankful for dreams fulfilled every day. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Hudson. Be well.